Thank you, everyone. Let's dive into the discussion now. Bhanu, can you please share a bit about your background and how has your personal journey influenced your approach to digital marketing?
Great. Thanks, Ashwini, for the quick intro and the opportunity. So I think one of the key factors today, if you look at around, is everybody's trying to sell something to someone, right? Like that's usually the process which happens everywhere. And over the past few years, because we have grown up digitally, you always see your ads. Now everybody is aware that your phones are listening, and if you want to, like, see your ad, you just say, hey, I want to see this thing. For example, I want to know something about going to Bali. So I just say, hey, tickets for Bali, and just within just 5 minutes, you're served ads, right? So I think the the curiosity of how this entire thing works, right, at the first place is something which has led me to come here, and obviously the entire math and the numbers, and you being trying to influence people through your ads and making purchases out of it. I think that's one of the most interesting things that has I think that's what has led me in a way to pursue digital marketing.
I guess that's an interesting analysis that you have did and
Yeah,
that you did,
yeah,
and maybe your approach is really great.
yeah.
So, can you tell us a bit more about Beyond Ads? Then, how did you start? What's the
Yeah.
motive behind your brand and unique value proposition? How
Yes.
it differentiates from?
Yeah. So just a bit of background. I think when I started, so I was not straight up into digital marketing or Facebook ads or specifically into e-commerce. I used to run a couple of my own stores back in the day, when in 2015 and 16, where the entire Amazon and all of your Facebook ads and this drop shipping kind of a thing was at rage. Like, it was at its peak moment by then, and I was a part of the bandwagon. I used to follow a lot of these gurus and did a lot of YouTube learning. Tried something in India, worked out very well, and fundamentally, what I realized is I am not a product person. I can't build a product. But then what I understood is I understood how to market it, right? So I understood the tools, I understood the channels, and just thinking about how to sell something was constantly a thought, right? And eventually I ended up joining an agency. I was the almost about the fourth or the fifth person to join, and I grew it to a team of about 120 plus people. And peak COVID time is where I think, is where I've done my MBA in the agency business. And then, so the trend of how it evolved over the last 5 to 6 years has been absolutely, astonishing, because the speed at how it evolved, like from a cost per purchase to about 100 rupees to today, looking at a cost per purchase of about 1500 rupees, the learning curve has been amazing, right? So today, in terms of e-commerce, I just don't think only a particular agency or a particular person can grow a brand to 100 times, right? So after my previous agency experience, when I looked back at what is the value me as a marketer fundamentally is adding to a business, I realized that there is a gap in the market where people have a lot of capabilities, a great product, but have no direction on how to scale. Now, there are agencies where people offer A to Z services like video creative, influencer marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads, Amazon this and that, and all of these things together as a package, and usually make the clients lethargic that, hey, I hired an agency who does A to Z for me, so my brand is now going to grow, right? So I was to in a way in a similar setup, but then when I look back at what is the value that I'm adding, because fundamentally today you need to pick one thing and you just need to focus on that if you're master at it, because there are 100 levers which are moving an e-commerce website as of today, right? So I felt that gap after talking to a lot of founders. People mentioned, see, I've got a great creative team in place, I've got a great product in place, we need someone to lead it, right? So that's when the idea of Beyond Ads has popped up. So my both my partners Krishna and Bhuvnesh, all three of us have different fortes. So I have my forte is Facebook ads and retention marketing, while Krishna looks into Google ads and Amazon ads, and Bhuvnesh is into CRO and website development, right? So all three of us combined together are a perfect fit for any e-commerce brand who is looking to scale. So we don't do creatives and everything in-house, but we are data guys, right? Like we look at data, we understand channeling of the consumer, we understand consumer journeys, and it's just not at the acquisition. Today, a lot of both the from a brand end and from the agency end don't focus on retention, right? The key metric today is to acquire a consumer and bring them back. So with these gaps in place is what we have understood that this is something which we can really fill, because one, over a period in time we have seen the evolution. We understood that okay, this is something which we need to like really this is our forte, and we can actually add value to the brands who are looking to scale. Obviously for beginner brands, it is quite difficult, because for them both they have limitations in terms of the budgets and the scale at which they want to go, considering the nature of the business. But for a brand was already established and is at a certain run rate, and we guys come in as catalysts and scale them from 10 to 100. Basically, if a brand is at has done something from 1 to 10, 10 to 100 is where we come in. So yeah, fundamentally I think we are more of catalysts you can consider for scaling any given brand, with more of a data driven approach.
I think Bhanu, if I see your journey right from the beginning, you're really, really clear with what you want to do. Like
Yeah,
even analyzing and observing everything and studying it, and then deciding on this is really important for the marketers out there who are just pass out, or they're pursuing their career in their initial they are into initial days. So this is really important. Like for me also, like to be clear with what you want to do and what is your forte, and this will take you maybe your personal and your client's journey to maybe 10 to 100 or
yeah,
thousands.
yeah.
It is pretty interesting.
Thank
So,
you.
so how do you measure success of your marketing initiatives, and what are the key metrics do you focus on? Like,
See, honestly, it depends on brand to brand, right? To be very honest, if I talk about current situation today in comparison to like a couple of years ago, let's say especially the peak COVID time, where a lot of money is being flowed, pumped into your fundings and a lot of DTC brands. Every single founder that I spoke to was just about top line revenue, right? I just need to show how many customers I have acquired. I just need to show this growth. Let me show my bestsellers, get this visibility, do that, get this, right? But as of today, the same founder a couple of years ago who said me the same things today is about, hi, can we just focus on sustainability? It's okay if I don't do a crore rupees in revenue, but I'm okay in doing 50 lakh rupees of revenue at a certain ROS, right? So as of today, I would say one of the biggest North Star metric every single DTC brand today is focusing is on about sustainability, is about profitability, right? Because the problem in the entire industry as of today is India being a price sensitive market. Everybody is after in acquiring those consumers just by not selling the product, but by devaluing the product and discounting the product and just trying to acquire the consumer. So today, one of the biggest challenges we as marketers focus, or at least at Beyond Ads, the biggest challenge I have with my clients is they ask me to do a sale, but I'm like, no, it's not the right time to do a sale. Which in majority of the cases is other way around, that marketers go, we need to do a sale, we need to do a sale. I think the underlying effect on that is not seen today or tomorrow, but is seen over a period of the next 3 or 4 months, when that particular consumer, you have already spent twice the amount of the product value the consumer is already doing, and the consumer never comes back, is where you're actually losing money, right?
hmm,
So you're that's one of the biggest things. So to answer your question, I think the North Star metric as of today is about profitability, is about net profitability, and the sustenance of the business. And I don't really think even if you're doing a 2x ROS, it's still fine if you have your gross margins or your net margins in place. But I think if you're sustaining a 2x ROS and consistently maintaining that retention number, I think that's how
That's
we'll have
you are
to
doing good.
measure the marketing agency. Yeah, I mean the marketing initiatives.
That is a really helpful insights, I believe, because this is a evolution where like there was a time where people, as you said, people were only focusing on sales and numbers and
Yeah,
not on the retention.
yeah,
So we understood about retention,
yeah,
but I'm a little bit coming behind
yeah,
to generate leads.
yeah,
So you have expertise with Facebook ads.
yeah.
So when while running Facebook ads, what is your focus? Have I set the right objectives, or do you check? Have I set the right budget parameters, or have I got my ad placement right, or is my creative grabbing attention,
Yeah.
or even is my ad relevant to the target audience? What
Yeah.
do you really focus?
Yeah. So I think, yeah, see with Facebook ads as of today, again, with a lot of evolution, right? I think majority of the businesses, for about 80% of their traffic dependent on Facebook for their traffic to come in onto their website, right? Like starting from their so two segments, be it your lead generation or be it your product focus e-commerce, starting creating awareness for the product, creating that interest for the product, and ensuring that they're landing on their website. And then again, once they land, again retarget them to bring them back to the website. So all of these things, there are way more deeper set of analysis and funnels that are usually built out, right? So, and one of the key factors today is the creative, right? That's the way where everybody is focusing towards, right? So be it a video, be it a static, be it a carousel, so multiple ways of creating awareness for your product. I think that is one of the key factors for your success in Facebook ads, because all the numbers that you see or are or that are populated today are just behind that creative, that one creative reaching out to the right consumer to create that interest or that aspiration to buy the product, and someone ending up buying that particular product. So that journey through Facebook ads is the thing. So creative, I think, is the main focus for your success of your acquisition campaigns.
Right. So, as you said about creatives and landing pages, which
Yeah,
is really important in Facebook ad, uh,
yeah,
I I just want to a little I just want to grab a little attention of our audience for our new tool that as we are talking about Facebook ads. So I would like to mention quickly about our new launch, that is Uncle Optimizer. This is a free tool, and with this you can check conversion score of landing page before launching the ad itself.
great,
Also, it will suggest changes so that you get improved or better conversion score. So this way you can save your marketing budget and not wasting on poor landing pages. You can check this tool at www.uncleoptimizer.com. So going to next question,
yeah.
Bhanu. What is your process of optimizing a website for a client? Is is this an important factor for you while consumer journey is concerned?
Yeah. So I think one of the that's the thing, right? So today, one of the, so there's a joke, right? So every single time a website doesn't see a purchase, or you're spending an X amount of money, and I go back to the client and I tell them, hey, ads are not working, or something is not working, and they ask me, can we do something about it? I'm like, you should do something about it because your website sucks, right? So we need to channelize each and everything, right? So, for example, what's in your control with Facebook ad is your creative and your audience and your targeting, where you're reaching out or you're ensuring that your product is being delivered, your product awareness is being delivered to the right person. After that, once they leave Facebook as a platform, they're landing onto your website, Now it's the same shopping pattern that you go offline, right? Like once you go to a shop, you judge, okay, is the lighting good, or is it really placed properly? Like how you look, you if you break down your supermarket, they place things strategically so that it gets your attention. It's the same thing with your landing page also, right? So today, once it's just not your ad communicating or creating, because it's just a very small part of your entire product offering, right? And once someone lands on your landing page is when you need to like actually connect with them. They need to connect with your product. They need to understand, okay, this particular product is solving my problem, right? So conversion rate optimization is one of the key factors, I would say, for your marketing campaign successes, because you do how much of a great ads, you bring celebrities on board, you do whatever things that you want to do on your Facebook ads. If your landing page sucks, it doesn't really matter, right? For example, um, a landing page with a bounce rate of about 50% and a landing page with a bounce rate of about 80%. Obviously, the winner is the one with the lesser bounce rate, right? Because people are coming, landing on the page and viewing it. Now, obviously, with tools like CustomFit.ai, how we can actually test a lot of variants and how we actually do a lot of consumer persona targeting. For example, so for someone like an 18 to 24, your messaging needs to be more Gen Z. You need to like really talk to them in their lingo. And the same where you're selling something to a senior citizen, why don't you try a vernacular language, right? Like, why don't you show your landing page in a entire different language altogether, right? So, it is one of the key factors today. I really feel, in the success of your, for your brand, and it's just not about CRO. It's about what is your journey. Like today, somebody lands on a homepage or a product page where they're visiting for the first time, and when they're coming for the next time, why are we still showing the same landing page? Why can't we show a different
Mm.
landing page of the same product, right? So again, that is something which is going to be a revolution going forward, because you need to start doing that, right? Every single time. Why can't you just run the same ads on all the funnels? No, you're not doing that. How you're funneling your creatives at each funnel, and in the same way you need to funnel your landing pages as well. That is when you will actually be able to really see great amount of results. And I think as much as each of these platforms play a crucial role, website and your CRO stands at the top of my list for a better conversion or the success of any e-commerce marketing campaigns.
That's that's how we actually found out the gap in CRO, and we tried to solve it with the no code category.
Yeah, yeah. So,
That is helpful.
and
Nice.
that's one of the other things, right? Even just like a quick shout out to even Custom.ai, is CustomFit.ai is it's easy for my team to utilize, right? For me, obviously, for someone who is with a vast set of experience and almost 7 8 years, we understand what needs to be done. But for someone who's a beginner for about 1 year, 1.5 year into marketing, I mean, the marketers also do want to explore, but a little lack of education and a little lack of ease of product, I think a lot of people take a step back. But I think, yes, the tool is absolutely great even for beginners, and which I think is definitely a great value addition if someone is trying to adapt it at the early stages, because this is one of the biggest roadmaps I can see in terms of the growth of e-commerce brands. So yeah, absolutely.
So, coming to the strategy,
Yeah.
I would like to understand, could you share a specific digital marketing strategy that has yielded a significant results for customer acquisition?
See, I think explaining the product, right? I think staying transparent about this. For example, uh, for one of our skincare brand that we are working with, um, they were they never discounted their products. They stood core to their value. I don't think a marketing campaign or a strategy can just lead to a great set of or a cheaper set of customer acquisition. It's more about the brand ethos and the values, how transparent they can be in their entire proposition, and how are people organically reaching out. I think one of the biggest key factors here would be is how is your organic response. Not every brand today in the organic world is trying to sustain, right? So I think going big on underrated platforms as of today, something like a YouTube, right? YouTube Shorts, all of these platforms are actually very underrated and are actually low cost marketing strategies in order to acquire consumers for a longer term, because you create a piece of content today, which is, I think, one of the biggest key factors where brands are failing as of today, is because the founder or the promoter is not actually ready or capable of to go out in front of a camera and explain the product specifically to their audience. But I could see a lot of brands evolving from this and doing long form content and short form content and posting on YouTube, and are waiting for that, consistently doing it, and then the effort coming out, right? So I think one of the key marketing strategies today I've seen for one of our skincare brands also, they got a shout out from Alia Bhatt, which is pretty organic, and the business just skyrocketed from there, right? It was just one video where the business has just increased five times on day two, the day video is posted, right? So it technically gives me a lot of confidence that as of today, while everybody is running towards one particular agenda of acquiring consumers, if you guys take a step back and look at ensuring a long-term game, that you want to stay in the market for about 10, 15 years, and then start putting your efforts now on underrated channels, and start building content, right? Build a community, build an underrated, build a, it's just not YouTube. You can just start building a good set of community building. If you're able to do with your existing customers, they will bring in more amount of people, right? Affiliate marketing is long gone story. Nobody talks about affiliate marketing as of now, right? Nobody talks about referral marketing as of now. There are a lot of these underrated channels which I think as of today are not being explored properly. So my answer would be various underrated channels needs to come out, which would lead to a better success of these campaigns, is what I would say, rather than just running towards the same marketing strategy every single one is doing. Like, an X brand has done this creative, 10 different brands would copy and just implement this, right? So it's there's nothing unique that is happening today in the market, is what I see.
So, we just heard about success stories. Can you
Yeah.
also share some fail stories of yours? Like, what are the biggest challenges you have faced in scaling beyond ads, or how have you overcome them?
So definitely right. Exactly. So I was pretty open and transparent about this even in a couple of my LinkedIn posts a month ago. Was everybody today, you see any marketer or any agency owner just goes out and tell, if you have scaled this brand from here to here and this and that, but the reality is that's just 10% of the entire portfolio you have. Like, touchwood, today the LTV of my clients is as high as about 12 to 14 months. Like, a client, I mean, working with a client almost about 14 months is one of the biggest key
That's
successes
a
that
big
we
number,
as in,
yes.
yeah, is one of the key successes that I've seen. Now, is it the similar scenario again? The one of the key approaches at Beyond Ads is work with a limited number of clients. Be choosy about who you're working with, right? So me and Krishna, when we were planning out, we just, what's that minimum number of clients, right? So we decided on a simple math. So I want to talk to my client every single week, explaining them what's the approach, what has been done this week, and what is done next week, right? So I want to work for 6 days a week, and for 5 hours in a day is where I can take calls with breaks in between. So that's 6 5s are 30. So Beyond Ads will only serve 30 clients in their entire lifetime. The clients will come and go, but we are not going to go beyond 30. So 30 is the number of clients that I'll be focusing upon. Now, yes, now touchwood, we have, because we have been working with clients with almost about a year and a half now. Majority of my portfolio are successful brands, about 70% of them. While I still see brands struggling, I think a couple of my failure stories is that they have actually invested heavy in terms of their product and their product offering and everything, but they were never able to brand the product very well. I think mostly from a communication perspective, and mostly from presenting and finding the right target market. I have definitely failed quite a bit of times, especially in the skincare industry. We have eventually phased out ourselves in the skincare industry. We just work with very particular skincare brands as of today, but we are moving into other this thing, right? There's uniquely we're working with someone who is selling tires online for sports bikes, right? So those kind of brands is where we are uniquely tapping into. But if I were to say the challenges as of today is the competition, the saturation in the market in certain industries, especially something like beauty and personal care, where the market is too saturated because the mathematics are not right. See, fundamentally, why does something like a clothing gives a 5 or a 6x ROS while a personal and a beauty care industry settles themselves down key, I am good with 2x, right? Why is it happening? Why are you not focusing on profitability? Is because there is a lot of price war, right? A brand like a H&M and Zara can sell a hoodie for $2,500. There are also brands who are selling the same similar quality for $1,500. But the problem is, especially in the beauty and personal care industry, for example, a cleanser can't be sold for more than about 500-600 rupees if you want to attract the mass market, right? But for the kind of quality and for the kind of products, the mathematics doesn't work, right? Because there are hundreds of brands starting to sell the same product from 50 rupees to 10,000 rupees, right? So where are you fitting your market, or who is the target market you are concentrating to, is one of the biggest challenges brands face. And we are also not able to align uh, that particular brand in those phases. So I think the failure stories, especially for Beyond Ads, would be with those certain set of challenges of positioning and target marketing. And on the opposite side entirely, not everybody is passionate, from a team perspective. Okay, why do I have to like scale this brand? Like today, just before this call also, I was just going through some creative analysis. And my entire team is on a holiday because it's a Saturday and a Sunday, right? But I am spending money 24/7, right? Like every single second we're spending someone else's money. So I think the challenging part in this entire business is to stay awake every single time, because you never know when the chaos is going to come. And finding the right team, for me and Beyond That, has been a challenge. I've interviewed about 300 plus people over the past 120 days, and I've hired zero people just because they
My
don't fit a
goodness.
certain criteria, right? So
This is
yeah, it
so
is
clear and
challenges.
deep.
Yeah, so because it's a two-way thing, right? Like both from an agency business, sustaining the clients and also sustaining the team. I think both these two are major factors, and we being the bridge, because we know what needs to be done there, we know what needs to be done here. So the challenges are pretty certain, but the solutions are very ambiguous, and it takes a lot of time at a point in time to solve. So about 18 to 20 months into the business, I still operate at a very lean team size. Working for 30 clients, there are only 15 people, the top-notch people, right? Like they have been trained for quite a rigorous amount of time, trying to explain pattern. It's not about an SOP. It's about how to improve themselves as a marketer rather than just a bookish theory, right? So both ways there are challenges, but I think. We being the center of USPs of our own businesses, we are trying to hold it together, I would say.
So deep, like
Yeah.
very, very deep insights. Marketers out there, or even like future CEOs, should take a note of this thing. I
Yeah, I
must say.
mean hiring, right? Like I think clients are everywhere. Like you can find clients every nook and corner if they're right fit for your business. But I think teams are the most important thing. Like if you have uh, a person who is actually not able to contribute to it, it's not their mistake, it's your mistake, because you didn't set your expectations right and you hired the wrong person, right? So one of the biggest factors that I always believe is hire faster, fire faster. I know I might get a lot of backslash for this, but it is important, because you're in a service based industry, and not everybody would be willing to kind of take feedback, because service industry is always about feedback. Because to make someone happier is your job at the end of the day, right? Like you need to get sales for the client so that the client is happier. That's your job, right? And a client is never satisfied. That's again in the service industry, which is one of the biggest backdrops, right? Like for you guys, like again for custom fit, it would be the same thing, even if it's in a SaaS, right? Even though for you guys, you need to understand how, sorry, you need to understand what are your requirements for the client. Is the client able to see a better conversion rate? All of these things. So the key factor over here is to hit that dopamine of the client that he's getting sales, right? So it's very hard for someone to keep up their expectations in this fast-paced world. Yeah. So challenges are quite difficult at this point in time.
Really true. That
Yeah.
too in a digital landscape.
Oh, 100%.
So, how do you integrate emerging technologies such as AI or AR into your marketing strategy?
See, I think one of the biggest breakthroughs is ChatGPT. Like today, right?
Each and everyone is.
Yeah, yeah, right. Like today, if you want to talk, like today, if I want to rant, also I go to ChatGPT and I just start ranting. It's because it gives you a response. Like today, one of the key factors that when we are using chat gpt or reducing the actual client time is writing better copies. I think that's one of the biggest key factors, is because we have got a lot of options for us to varied and test, because copywriting, direct response copywriting, is one of the key factors. We have also built a bit of SOPs for our clients where we are using prompts for them to give creative ideas, hook lines, and all of these things, where it's actually scripting out the entire thing. I think ChatGPT, to be very honest, is one of the biggest integrations that we have ever done for majority of the clients, because we have asked them to actively start using it, because it's making your life very much more easier, and the speed has increased way more. Here, along with this, a bit of these tools like copy.ai and all of these things, which help us with ad copies and this thing. I think creative, or generally building creatives, there are a couple of tools called adcreative.ai and stuff, which are trying to do it, but I still think it's going to take a lot more time in terms of users to adapt to it, because the prompts and what we need from a vision perspective is still way more ahead in terms of adapting it. And obviously, again, tools like CustomFit.ai, which helps us to optimize our conversion rates and all of these things. Even a bit of tools like Clarity, where we look at heat maps. So all of these tools go hand in hand, right? For example, we look at all our sessions, we look at all our heat maps and recordings on Clarity, and then we come to landing page optimizations, and then we decide on an entire different UI and UX, and then we push it to let's say for a couple of my clients where we're using custom, we just go start edit all of those, chop whatever we need to do, and then it's a cycle, right? Like it goes to the ad team, and then they push all their ads, and then it goes into a circle. So this loop is something which is there. I think primarily as of today, there are many tools which are integrating, but I think a couple of my favorites would definitely be for sure ChatGPT and CustomFit.ai for sure, in terms of landing page optimization, and for heat maps and all, Microsoft Clarity. So I can see a lot of these smaller tools and extensions and plugins kind of a thing which are popping out here and there, but nothing is stabilizing. But I think we just didn't even scratch the potential at this point in time. The roadmap is way more bigger, and I'm pretty much sure the future of AI in the next 5-10 years is going to be insane. I just hope, touchwood, it doesn't replaces us, where it just right, it just goes.
Someone
Yeah,
is doing full marketing efforts for you.
yeah, yeah. Like the
Come
client
to
goes in, hey, get me these number of purchases for this cost of purchase, and the AI is just going to Facebook and it's just running an ad by itself, right? So,
I
yeah, I think,
wish.
yeah, I wish there would be a day, but now I don't wish it would be a day, right? So, yeah, but yeah, that's how
We
these are
really
the kind
hope
of
it will
tools.
not.
Yeah, yeah.
So this was all about our conversation, but we have a rapid fire round
Oh, yeah,
with us. 3 minutes.
amazing.
So First question: what is your favorite brand? Like in as far as marketing is concerned.
I think I would say so. I really like very community-led brands. All of these bigger brands definitely have a lot of vision, but there is this brand called Blue Orange. It's a streetwear brand, and I really love their entire marketing strategy and approach. So, they are a great community brand. They get sold out just through an Instagram story. I myself, I'm a very big user of the brand. So they're into streetwear clothing and amazing product quality, amazing community building. So for sure, as of today, my favorite brand is Blue Orange.
We should definitely take a note, and here onwards we should definitely understand and study their marketing strategy, as you
100%.
have said.
Yes.
So coming to next question: email marketing, influencer marketing, or WhatsApp marketing? Your favorite?
Oh, so if I were to rate them on priority, I think it would be WhatsApp, second would be influencer, and third would be email. Sadly, no one in India utilizes email except from a professional perspective until and unless that is required. All your personal emails have a lot of spam emails where your open rates are zero. So I think an email, by the time it is gaining prominence in India, as both as a service and as a marketing tool, WhatsApp just came and like washed it away. So I think like
Very true.
WhatsApp. Influencer, I think influencer today is very overrated. I don't really think as of today, no influencer is able to influence their audience to buy a product, right? So it's kind of still underrated, but at least works from a content perspective where brands collaborate with influencers and run the ads of the influencers. And email marketing is very particular in a very dominated group of audiences, right? For example, all your tier one cities is where your marketing efforts usually work, but in your tier two and tier three cities, your email marketing efforts don't really show a great set of results. So yeah, it's WhatsApp, influencer, and then email.
So one word to describe successful digital marketing. I know it's very hard, but
um, I think I would just say profitability, nothing else.
okay.
Like if
Yeah,
you're able to make your client
it makes
profitable,
sense. Yes,
yeah, that's how I think that's the North Star
that's how
metric
it
as of
works.
today.
That's
Yeah,
that's the basis of digital marketing.
yeah.
Your go-to customer acquisition channel.
Oh, Facebook. There's no better tool than Facebook. Like your TikToks come, your Snapchats come, all of these come and go, but nobody can beat Facebook or Instagram as of today.
That's I perfectly agree with you.
Yeah.
Favorite digital marketing campaign of all time, or
Oh,
Facebook campaign.
that's a tough one. I think I have a couple of favorites by these bigger brands. I mean, obviously, something like what I think Zomato did, that billboard campaign, where everybody just replicated that entire trend. And very recently, the one which was done by Barbie, the stickers which have come in. Now, both of these are not e-commerce centric, but I think why I think it is those are great is because those are very simple but are very engaging. Like you could create a snowball effect through a single Instagram post where somebody just some ideas popped up for someone and they just randomly put it. Nobody anticipated it would go viral, but brands adapting to it and making it viral and big. I think that's the biggest. I mean, in recent times, those two are my favorite because both of them are engaging, both of them are unique, and it really engages with the consumer, which is getting their attention at the end of the day, right? So I think, yeah, those two would be my favorite campaigns.
Biggest challenge in one word or one sentence.
Uh, Acquisition.
Okay.
I think, I mean, it is because if you have a great product and if you are acquiring consumers, your retention is sorted. But if you have a bad product and you still ask me to acquire consumers, or if the consumers are not buying, I think that's the one of the biggest challenges to as of today, I would say.
Um, the most effective call to action that you have used.
Get offer. because it just works. Right, get
That
offer.
really works.
Yeah, like you are not so these days what you're normally doing is instead of shop launch you're just putting all our CTAs to get offer, just so that people are like, okay, there is some offer, let's go and buy. I mean, Indian people, when you say offer, they go bonkers, right? So I think get offer is like the best CTA that I've ever used. Yeah,
And last question, like
yeah,
one piece of advice for marketers out there. I think which I have like concluded from this conversation is do have this clarity in your whatever you're doing, like
yeah,
not even marketing, but and be clear plus be specific.
yeah.
But I would like to hear from you
So I think,
what piece of advice you will.
yeah. So see, I think I cannot just summarize into one, but there are multiple parts to it. Like primarily, I would say first, understand if you were a user. If you're selling a product, understand if you were a user, would you use it or not, right? Validate the product that you're trying to sell, one from your own perspective, whether it makes sense, right? Uh, like maybe you might not be a direct consumer, but if you were to fit in that consumer persona, would you buy that product or not? If the product doesn't qualify for you, it is not going to qualify for a lot of people, right? So that's the number one. Number two is understanding the requirements for your clients, right? Like for marketers, is it what is it the client needs? Does the client need awareness? Does the client need sales? What is understanding the requirement? And third is try to be creative, right? Like every single time something is not working, just don't go out and do a sale, right? Like try to be creative, try to come out with interesting ideas, interesting social media campaigns, interesting creative campaigns, so that you're actually able to go ahead and sell out your product. So I think these three would be main, and the last and the most important point is numbers, right? Like data. The key metric of something not working is quantified in a number, and if you understand that number correctly, your campaign would be success. Your number is to just move it from a 0 to a 1, and you would see a difference, right? So I think these would be the major things I would say for anybody who is starting out, that these four metrics, if you're able to solve, or if you're able to break or crack it down, you should be able to see decent amount of success.
Thanks, Banu.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. It was really great having you here with in our podcast, Banu. It was a lot to learn from you, and I'm sure our audience will also be surely benefited with your insights. So, if anyone
100%.
has any queries, anytime they can reach out to us at reach@customfit.ai.
Amazing.
Thank you, Banu.
Great. Thank you so much, Ashwin.